Well, we'd like to welcome back to the Morning Watch program Bob Keller, New Report certified Myokinesthetic specialist.
You are getting so good at that, Will.
I know, and that was I had the hardest time just with Myokin.
Right.
And for some reason I wanted to name you after the polo club down in Hamilton.
Right.
But anyway, but you're doing a great job, and had a story in the news today about Tiger Woods suffering his knee pains. He hopes to be able to play in the upcoming tournament. And
I keep waiting for his call, but he hasn't called me yet.
I don't know why.
I
don't know why. He's got the best medical care.
Right.
But anyway, I'd love to see you see if you can get Tiger back on the links. But
right.
you get a lot of people back on the links, and you get a lot of people back into the regular everyday hubbub of life too. And you have a shining example with you this morning.
I brought a shining example, Richard Nocera, who works here in Newburyport, and had the good fortune of having Richard come to see me for some pains, which I'll let him tell you about.
Oh, Richard, welcome to the Morning Watch program.
Good morning, Win.
Where's it hurt? Or where did it hurt?
It hurt in my shoulder. I have been working out with weights for years, and always want to lift more and more weight, and so I walked over to the machine one morning, and there were about 30 pounds more on the machine than I usually use, and I said, oh, I can do that, and no, I couldn't, and I tore my rotator cuff and my shoulder, and couldn't raise my arm, and I'm a hairstylist, so for the first time I had to stop work in about 15 years for 3 weeks, and at the end of the 3 weeks it was even worse. So ended up at the doctor's, and he said, probably should do some type of surgery, but there were no guarantees, so I didn't want to do that. And he said, well, you're just going to have to live with it and get an assistant, and you maybe have to think about retiring work. So
hairstylists don't retire.
No, they don't, and they don't live well when they do. So we don't have a 401k that some big company is paying for. So I see myself working until I can't, and I didn't want to see that now. So I didn't know what to do, really. I was at a loss, and I got I got someone to help me out, and just was in pain, a lot of pain, and taking a lot of ibuprofen. Couldn't sleep at night, so my doctor recommended Ambien, so I was on some drugs just to get through my day, which is very unusual for me. I'm not used to that. I didn't like it the way a lot of people don't want to come to that point where they're reliant on that. And then someone mentioned Bob to me, and said Myokin, which I said, what? And didn't really register, and then they came back in and they said, now, did you go to see Bob? And I said, well, no. And she actually got very upset. She said, Richard, you need to do this. Come on, I want you to do this. I have a friend, and she's been pain-free for a year. And I just kind of said to myself, oh, yeah. And I didn't want to lose her as a client, so that's why I went.
The port of last resort as usual.
Yeah, that's right. Wow. So that's neat. So you had some outside influence guide you to Bob Keller.
Definitely. I'm usually the one that recommends things to my clients, but she was really adamant, and she actually got upset, and then she went and brought me a brochure and left it under my door, and with a note, get over to him, and so I did.
First session we spent trying to identify, as I do with all patients, what the nerve root is in the spine that's actually causing the pain or the numbness or the inability to move whatever the joint is. And then using some fairly simple and gentle muscle movements, we did the first treatment.
Mm-hmm. Now, so you had injured the rotator cuff, and you were able to work those muscles so they could relax and sort of get back into the proper alignment?
Well, remember, first of all, Richard had been some weeks since he had that injury, and there was some healing. And so the injury healed itself, at least partially, but the pain didn't go away. And my business is to get rid of the pain. If he's got a torn rotator cuff, he's probably still got it. In fact, most of us do, those of us who are over 30.
Thanks.
Even though it's mostly asymptomatic.
Uh-huh.
But my goal is to take away the pain, to re-educate the nervous system so that it realizes that the pain is no longer necessary. Pain is important right at the beginning because it tells you something's wrong. But once it's outlasted its usefulness, it becomes part of the problem. So, how did we do?
Oh, well, the first morning that I came first thing in the morning before work, and I was in a lot of pain. And I thought, well, I'm not going to take the ibuprofen, I'm just going to really give this a shot. And it hurt a little bit in the beginning, but when he was through with the, whatever he does, really, I felt less pain right away. And I said, oh, this is great. And he said, well, you know, you need to come a few more times, and I'd like to see you 3 times during the week. And that's what I did. And I was really amazed with the results. And one thing that he said to me that was really important, he said, Richard, and this is so simple, but he said, don't do anything that hurts. So, you know, I'm a weightlifter, so no pain, no gain. I'm a guy, right? Mm-hmm. And that made so much sense to me. He said, I said, well, it hurts when I do this, and it hurts when I, he said, well, don't do it. You know, and stop doing it, and see if you can just change your position vis-a-vis your computer, or, you know, how you're doing hair. You know, try to hold your arms down, come up, bring the client up a little higher, you know, you go down a little lower, things like that, that, again, I hadn't thought of. And so that's been my mantra. Don't do anything that hurts. And I have no pain. I'm in front of you now. I have taken no medication really since the first time I saw him, and I'm pain-free.
So, so when you first start up, you need to go see Bob 2 or 3 times a week, and just to start to re-educate the muscles.
It varies. It varies quite a bit. With some people, well, with Richard, he did have pain relief after the first session. But as I said, this is a re-education process, and we need to reinforce that lesson. Some people are perfect after 1 session. I never see them again. Average 3 or 4 sessions. Mm-hmm. Some it may be 6. There's a few people, I'm sorry to say, I can't help.
Yeah. Well, it's that way with everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then you do like to, I like to think of it as a tune-up. You do like to tune folks back up every once in a while, too.
Well, Richard is being very good about that. He comes back every couple of weeks, every month, to get a tune-up, what we call a maintenance session, just to be sure that the body stays reorganized in that healthy way.
Mm-hmm. Neat. And your clients, your hair clients, they had no clue, right, that you were in pain?
They really don't. You know, and they always ask me about it, you know, because they want to know, you know, am I going to be able to go to see this guy, you know, at Christmas time?
Yeah.
And so they're always monitoring me more than I am myself. And, you know, how's it going, Richard? They forget what part of it is, you know, how's your arm, you know, and I say, well, it's fine. I'm just completely pain-free. It's been amazing. When I went to Bob, I couldn't swim. I've always done something during my life, and I'm a swimmer now, and I could not pull myself through the water, and I'm now swimming again. And I really thought I would never be able to swim again, but I'm swimming. I'm swimming.
Nice. And of course, you're also guiding folks over to Bob's office too, right?
Yes, yes, I love it. You
He's
know.
very good about that.
Well, there's so many people in pain. There really are, which, and again, not that I'm aware of, but since I am, and I've talked about it, they're talking to me about it. So almost every week someone is mentioning, and I give Bob's brochure to them. All
right, so you can always learn more about Myokin by visiting Bob's website, myokineast.com. That's MYOKIN, or you can call them up, 978-465-5111.
The Myokin addresses pain in almost every part of the body.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, as I think I mentioned last time, we're even able to deal with some internal conditions, whether it's intestinal or genitourinary or whatever. There are a lot of conditions we can treat.
978-465-5111. Well, Richard, thank you very much for joining Bob on this session.
You're welcome. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you, Richard.
Richard Nocera. Now, where's your salon?
Oh, it's in the Tannery. It's called The Parlor.
Okay.
Voted Best Salon 2011 in the Daily News. Will be out this Friday.
Oh, okay.
I've been there. They do good work.
Uh-huh. Neat. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
All right, and Bob, thank you again, and we'll see you next month. Next
look
month is going
forward
to
to
be
it.
summertime.
Absolutely.
All right, Bob Keller, and again, what the number that you want to call is 978-465-5111.